Hi everyone, welcome to CBC News Montreal. It is a pleasure for us to hand over our anchor desk to your group. Today, you will get to do what we do every day, put together your own version of CBC News Montreal.
Yeah, and you'll get a real feel for what it takes to put a newscast together. Now, during this workshop, you'll walk a mile in the shoes of reporters, cameramen, and editors, and you'll get a feel for the kind of teamwork you need to really take a newscast to air.
And so, good luck on this adventure and have fun.
And we'll see you at the end of the newscast.
Thanks to both of you. Good evening to all. This is Renaud. I teach class 41 at Ozias-Leduc. Today, my students and I are embarking on an amazing experience. That's of producing a television show. I'm the studio control room now. We often hear about those who work behind the camera. Well, here they are. Without them, it will be impossible to make TV show. I wish everyone a great show.
Good evening, everyone. This is Justine. I'm standing in the studio of Radio-Canada's Centre de l'Information in Montreal. It's very impressive. Here are the stories we're following today. Biotop containers are an innovative way to create a garden in urban setting. To find out more, we'll talk to members of Les Urbainculteurs. The London Olympic Games in 2012, a guided tour with our correspondent, who'll give us details about the facilities. And finally, the flying car, a U.S. invention that could revolutionize transportation. Enjoy the show.
Your favorite spies are back.
Hearing that makes me feel better.
I'm retiring. Freedom 57.
Oh, Peter.
An all-new Insecurity, Monday at 8:30 on CBC.
Do I need to cut off all contact with my family? Because I can. It's no problem.
Monday, Erica goes back to high school in an all-new episode that can only be described in one word.
Showing.
An all-new Being Erica, Monday at 9 on CBC.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CBC News Montreal. To start with Marjorie, bring us your latest weather forecast. Good evening. Tell us it's going to be nice and warm for the next few days.
Unfortunately not, Frederick. Meteo Media has issued a weather alert for nearly all of eastern Canada. In some part of the Maritimes, between 15 and 25 centimeters of snow are expected over the next 24 hours. So get ready to shovel and make snowmen this weekend. Did you know that in 1941, Bombardier introduced the first B-12 snowmobile? It was shaped like a school bus and designed to carry passengers during major snowstorm. That was 70 years ago. Now, let's take a look at the weather map. You can see that strong winds will blow towards the Florida Peninsula before dissipating over the Caribbean Sea. But don't worry. Those of you flying off to sun destinations will still need to get out your sunblock. The winds will only last 24 hours. The island of Montreal will receive about 10 centimeters of snowfall over the next 7 days. For tonight, clear skies with a low of 4 and a high of 3. In the Quebec City and Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean region, the storm will dump over 30 centimeters of snow and bring violent winds. So there you have it. Stay warm this evening and see you tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
For a number of years now, Canadians have been paying more attention to their diet and the environment. Everybody is talking about local purchasing and food sovereignty.
By the time food gets to our plates, it's traveling an average of 2,400 kilometers. a group of committed young people of Quebec cities have found a simple, cheap way to reduce those thousands of kilometers to just a few meters between your rooftop and your kitchen.
What's their secret? Biotop containers. Their innovative projects could also offer an interesting alternative to traditional green roofs.
To find out more, we are joined by two members of the group Les Urbaniculteurs. Good evening, our colleague.
Good evening.
So, tell us about your organization, Les Urbaniculteurs.
Yes, Les Urbaniculteurs is a young non-profit organization that promotes urban agriculture. It's made up of residents who are campaigning to go back to the land in the city. Our goal is to produce over 2 tons of vegetables right here on this roof. It's quite a challenge to grow that amount of produce 400 squares of feet shingles in the city center. To some, the project may seem ambitious or even utopian, but in Quebec invention could become a key tool in this new agricultural revolution, biotop containers. Biotop containers consist of a large receptacle that acts as a water reservoir and that grows trays. Each one contains vermiculite covered with a layer of super fertile compost as well as mycorrhizal fungi useful for transplantations and mulch to conserve moistness. The particular design of these containers allows the plants to develop 2 types of roots. The first type stays in the upper part to absorb minerals, while the second type grows down, choke the lattice to draw water from the reservoir. This system keeps plants very happy. With a constant supply of water and nutrients, they can focus on growing and flourishing. To simplify things, there's an automated irrigation system.
Thank you very much to Les Urbaniculteurs for that information. And for those who are interested, the organization holds an open house event to the Maison de l'Auberivière's roof each fall. Visit their website for more information. Members will give guided tours of the garden, explain the biotop technology, and allow curious visitors to taste the rare species they grow. Biotop containers and vegetables will also be sold on the site.
After the break, all London is gearing up for the next Olympic Games. Don't go away.
He went toe-to-toe with a champion. He's raced across frozen seas. Now, let's celebrate the year that was.
I think I could go for a warm beer now.
The Best of Rick Mercer Report 2010, Tuesday at 8 on CBC. The next Dragon's Den, Happy Clown.
You're okay.
Sad Clown.
I just can't write checks to people dressed up as bozos.
And there's more than meets the eye.
Oh, you've got parasites or worms.
Dragon's Den, brought to you in part by Cadillac, Wednesday at 8 on CBC.
Arthur.
What?
Guinevere's gone.
On the next Camelot.
There was another attack last night.
It's not safe.
When it comes to uniting a kingdom, you have to break a few rules. An all-new Camelot, Wednesday at 9 on CBC.
Now, onto something completely different. In 2012, the United Kingdom will be hosting the Olympic Games, this time for the summer version of the Games. Our correspondent will obviously be following the story closely for us. So, Tristan, London is where the world athletes top will be squaring off.
That's right, Felix. The Olympic will be held from July 27 to August 12, 2012. I shall mention that it will be the 3rd time the British capital has the honor of hosting the Games. It also staged the Olympics in 1908 and 1948. A very divided organizing committee ended up giving it the nod over Paris, despite the fact that the City of Light was the odds-on favorite to land the event.
So London now has the colossal task of organizing the next Olympiad. Is that a monumental challenge? All the preparation is well on the day?
Yes. Work on the Olympic Park in East London has been underway for several years now. The park features a wide range of sport facilities, include the 80,000-seat Olympic Stadium, the Aquatic Center, the Velo Park, the Athletes Village, and the Media Center. Those who are interested can actually visit the site. The 2012 Olympic site tour starts at the Stratford in East London, where you can see how works on the Olympic Park is coming along. There are other Olympic facilities on the tour, including the Millennium Dome. The company tour guide also has 2 other tours on offer. Each tour lasts approximately 2 hours. It's a wonderful opportunity for those wanting to get into the spirits of the games, for travelings, making, and stopover in the UK. But you will have to act fast because the Olympics are just around the corner. Back to you, Felix.
Thank you. For more information on the tours, visit the website at the address appearing on your screen. When we return, my colleague will give us the latest on new technology, but first, Selina Wapetchi, host of Maumuta, which airs on CBC North Quebec in Creel, tell us about her show. Hello, Selina.
Troisième nom saut CBC. Troisième nom is from Stabit Sig. I would put Montreal or Chbedo that CBC Jueden. Ayuim nanod ge hagaxtushim nanod. I would put Chbedo that the Badgemont Douch Jueden Quebec EUST hedoch beacon. The book seemed no magum says it mu big in a dig. What jegan sweat.
Ron sees it.
I tried to grow an ironic mustache, but it came in sarcastically.
The Ron James Show, Fridays at 8 on CBC Television. CBC News Montreal is first with your local news at 5, 5:30, and 6. And weeknights, find your late night news right after the National on CBC.
Treated television, iPhone, and iPads are just a few examples of how technology is moving forward at a staggering pace. These days, a new computer can become outdated in just a few short months. Our technology reporter has more. Good evening, Jonathan.
Hello, Felix. Technology is indeed evolving extremely rapidly. A few years ago, CRT screens provide state-of-the-art image quality and zip drives were a miraculous way to save data. Now, mobile phones have become the ultimate communication tool. The internet has also revolutionized our daily lives. Cable companies seeking to cash into the train now offer a wide range of apps for smartphones and tablet PCs. In fact, CBC now offers a huge selection of shows on CBT TVs. To complete with these emerging technologies, new products are hitting the market every week.
And as do each week, you'll be talking to our Teach expert who'll give us a rundown on all the latest gadgets.
Yes, I'm here with Remy, who's someone who needs no introduction. Hello, so what have you got for us tonight?
Good evening, Jonathan. This evening, I'm going to talk about several things, starting off with the iPad and iPhone application that are the most popular with consumers. Take the Print Magic apps, which only cost $1.99. It allows you to send text and photos from your device to a printer via wireless connection. This is easy to configure and use. CBC News Network have a very popular application. With a touch of your finger, get all the news that matter to you from CBC, when and where you want it. There's also a CBC TV apps for a smartphone and tablets, which allow you to watch shows like George Tonight, Little Mosque on the Prairies, Dragon's Den, Steve and Chris, and much more. The CBC Radio Canada team is currently working on making these apps available on Apple TV. As far as 3D television is concerned, I suggest you to wait before buying one. Right now, the manufacturers are in a tech race to corner the market. The content is also limited, just like it was for HD television before they hit the market. Next week, I'll be talking about connection television. Stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Rémi. You never fail to amaze us with all these new gadgets. We'll see you again next week. Back to you, Felix.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's always very enlightening to talk to you. Now, let's see what weather reporter Frank Cavallero has to say about this segment of the program. Hello, Frank.
Thanks for that report. I'm Frank Cavallaro from CBC News Montreal. Every day we work very hard to bring you the latest news stories from here at home and around the world. My role is to bring you the most accurate weather forecast and the most reliable. You can catch me on CBC News Montreal weeknights at 5, 5:30 and 6, and late night at 10:55 following the National.
Francophone artists will be front and center of Montreal. Stage this fall, our arts reporter, Aude, is here to tell us about the must-see show Hello.
Hello, Fred. Let me tell you about the top shows to watch for on the Quebec music scene. December has several dates to put on your calendar. Jean Leloup on the 9th, Mr. Valère on the 10th, Malajube on the 14th, Carquois on the 17th, and Les Apartistes on the 27th and 28th. I suggest you visit their website to buy tickets and check show times. During the holidays at the Bell Center, Cirque du Soleil is back with Dralion, a show that blends Eastern and Western acrobatic prowess. The show's name reflects the meeting of East and West, Dragon for the East and Lion for the West. This groundbreaking production was staged by Guy Caron, combining ancient Chinese tradition with the modern approach of Cirque du Soleil. It's on from December 18th to 30th. In December, Théâtre Saint-Denis will be hosting comedian Stéphane Rousseau and his show Les Confessions. Rousseau will regale audiences with a variety of hilarious and ribald tales from his life. The show runs from the 14th to the 30th. And there you have it, Fred.
Two very different shows, not to be missed, and I believe a very unusual artist will be given a debut performance at the Bell Center this winter.
Yes, indeed. A Montrealer of Chinese origin by the name of Tom Lee is the latest hot phenomenon on the internet these days. He shot to world fame after posting his impressionist acts on YouTube and decided to use the fact that he has the same name as the famed Motley Crue drama to launch his career. He'll be singing the group's rock hits in Chinese.
Thanks, Aude, for all this suggestion. After the break, we'll be looking at flying cars. Are they the vehicle of the future? Don't go away.
For a great music mix you won't hear anywhere else. Radio 2 Morning with Tom Allen. On the new CBC Radio 2. Everywhere music takes you.
This is CBC News.
Start your day in the know with World Report.
Good morning, I'm Peter Armstrong. This is World Report.
Now with a new format and a new host.
I've been out there. I've talked to the people that make the news.
Veteran correspondent Peter Armstrong brings journalistic excellence from the field
Jerusalem, Beirut
to the studio.
It's just a matter of understanding what has happened out there, what is happening out there, and how that affects people in their daily lives.
World Report with Peter Armstrong on CBC Radio 1.
A U.S. company has managed to develop an hybrid airplane car with wings. When it's on the ground, you stow the wings and drive it like a normal car. But in the air, it's like a small plane. Our aviation reporter has the story. Hello. So tell me, will anyone be able to drive this vehicle?
No. First you need $200 to buy one. Then you need a pilot's license along with a regular driver's license. And these flying cars can take off from a highway. You can only fly them from a certified aerodrome on a runway that's at least 2.5 kilometers long. That means you also have to be able to cover the cost of renting the takeoff and landing strip. Now, technically speaking, it's a pretty impressive machine. Not so much because of its height, but because of its ingenious design. Developed by the US company Terrafugia, the vehicle is actually an extremely aerodynamic car equipped with two fold-bar wings along the doors. The wings can be deployed in under a minute, allowing the vehicle to lift up and reach altitudes of up to 2,000 meters. It has room for 2 passengers. The flying car isn't on the market yet, but it's just a matter of time. Zoe, Radio-Canada, Montreal.
Thanks very much, Zoe. Yet another example of how technology is advancing at breakneck speeds. Entering a new program is quite a challenge, one to which we rise every day. We asked our colleague Andrew Cheng to share some of his experience with us. Hello, Andrew. Can you give us a brief story of how you came to be a reporter for CBC News Montreal?
I guess like a lot of people who get their starts in this industry, I started as an intern. I started doing a one-week internship, which, I worked my butt off doing that. That snowballed into a 3-week internship. Then I got a summer job. I started as a researcher, actually, making phone calls for reporters in some of the various shows, both in radio and television. I went on to reporting, covering everything from the Dawson College shooting to the Laval overpass collapse, reporting for both radio and TV, and then slowly you just kind of work your way up, and live TV is what I love doing, so that's how I became an anchor.
How did your education prepare you for becoming a newsreader? A journalist and news
I did
anchor.
4 years in the journalism program at Carleton University in Ottawa, and since a very young age I've always had a passion for writing, and there's a big writing component in this job. So having sort of a writing interest, a news interest, just following the news, and being interested in a lot of different things, I think is probably a good requirement for this industry, and that's something that I guess I have.
Give us a little taste of what a typical day is like for you.
There's a lot of reading and a lot of writing. You know, I come in, you have to be briefed on sort of all of the day's events. You have to follow them in great detail. You have to know what all of the reporters that you're working with are going to be working on that day. And if you have a live interview on set, you have to research your topics. If there's a live event going on, you have to be following that. And then it all culminates in the newscast that starts at 5 and goes until 6:30.
Doing a live broadcast must have its ups and downs. Do you have any stories to tell us?
Yeah, there are definitely ups and downs. The down, I guess, one of the big ones is when you read this wonderfully crafted introduction to a piece, and then it doesn't run. You're just sort of hanging there, and then you scramble and you're trying to find the next piece, and that one's not ready either, and then you just have to throw to commercial break. So those are probably the downs.
Thank you for sharing your time and insight with us, Andrew. I wish you and CBC News Montreal continued success. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew, for telling us what it's like to be a journalist. That's our show for today. Tune in CBC News Montreal daily from 5 p.m. In closing, we decided to task our colleague and Radio-Canada International whether they liked our show today.
My name is Gordon McDougall of Radio-Canada International, and you guys, you did a great job.
Bonjour, ici Raymond Desmarteaux des services français de Radio-Canada International. Vous avez fait de l'excellent travail.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Георгий Боровский из русской секции Международного канадского радио. Вы отлично поработали.
Aqui é a Gilda Salomone, da seção brasileira da Rádio Canadá Internacional. Vocês fizeram excelente trabalho.
سمير بدوي من القسم العربي في راديو كندا الدولي. أهنئكم من كل قلبي على العمل الذي قمتم به. إنه عمل جيد وشكرا.
Soy Paloma Martínez del equipo latinoamericano de Radio Canadá Internacional. Ustedes acaban de hacer un excelente trabajo. Felicidades.
这里是加拿大国际广播电台的中文节目，您做的非常棒。
A big thank you to the entire Radio Canada International team. If you have any question or need more information about the TV workshop, you can contact us at one of the addresses appearing on your screen.
And finally, we leave you with the Whipper. Yes, he's a budgie, but veterinarians can explain why he was such great plumage. They have classed him as a mutant. This is Felix
and Frederick. See you tomorrow.